Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome your faces to the Call of Duty reveal live stream today. Hopefully I'm having a lovely day, and today we're just going to be recording my whole entire session, me reacting to the Call of Duty news, World War. I've never done this kind of thing before, so I thought it'd be pretty cool because it is a big thing, because I love watching these things, so I was like, why not record it? So if you don't know, World War II Call of Duty is going to be showing a trailer today. They're going to be talking about what they've been working on, and hopefully it'll give us a reason why they decided to go back to these routes. Obviously we all know why, because the last couple of Call of Duty's not been the best. We all love boots on ground, especially myself. I don't really like space stuff, but there's a percentage of people who like space stuff, so it'd be good for them to come out as a publisher to kind of go, right, we know this is wrong, we know that was wrong, but hopefully in this stream they'll give us all the stuff but they know which went wrong with the last couple of Call of Duties and why they've gone back to these old school ways. So I cannot wait for this. We've got under a minute to go to the stream actually officially starts. Oh mate, this is a hype time to go now, man. My Twitter's literally going mental at the moment. I've got the hashtag Call of Duty on at the moment, and it's going insane at the moment. The amount of tweets, some of the tweets coming in, obviously people from the event and people watching the streams as well. 40 seconds to go and it all kicks off. So if you guys are hyped for Call of Duty, leave a like on the video, and it's going to be a really awesome year, I reckon, for Call of Duty. My hopes and dreams are really riding on. I want it to go back to like Call of Duty World at War. That's what I've been playing a lot of that recently, and for me, I want it to be like World at War. I really do. And also more better. I've played Battlefield 1, and Battlefield 1 is really freaking good. So if I can get on like the same like kind of scale as that, kind of like the way it looks. Well, not the way it looks, but the way it plays is, oh mate, it'd be brilliant for next gen. Oh, here we go. It starts.
Peggy 18.
This day have set upon a mighty endeavor. Souls will be shaken with the violences of war. In this hour of freedom,
Yeah. I'm getting like shivers, man. This is great.
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot. We must not fail.
The brothers there, brothers in arms. Yes. The flamethrower's back.
Many casualties. We executed the mission. Get me the fuck out of here. How many? We had orders. Get to cover!
Christ.
Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about. No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great.
Welcome to the Bloody First.
Bloody
Long way
First.
from Texas, farm boy.
Bloody First. Remember that. Yes. November 3rd. Yeah.
You just saw the world premiere of the reveal trailer for Call of Duty World War II. And we're just getting started. We're streaming to you live from the middle of London, but today is all about you.
Only an hour away from me, this is. Only an hour away.
This game is the game that you've been waiting to see, and believe me when I say it's the game that we've been waiting to show you. Call of Duty has the most passionate fans anywhere. And throughout this live stream, we're going to be answering the questions that you've sent to us from all over the world over the last few days. When we greenlit this game 3 years ago now, we knew it was time for us to go back to our roots, back to the gritty, authentic, visceral military experience that Call of Duty was built on. This game delivers all that, and it also strives to capture the intense bonds of brotherhood that came from common everyday people who rose above the most epic and horrible conflict in human history.
Okay.
And with Sledgehammer Games at the helm, we knew we had the right team to deliver the cinematic scale and the relentless attention to detail that this conflict deserves and demands.
So you got experience
Their
with the
passion and
games.
creativity has been inspiring to me from day one. Call of Duty World War II does more than just go back to boots on the ground. It also delivers a gripping, immersive story and a darker, reverent tone, which captures both the epic scale and the human struggle of this incredible conflict. Like so many people all over the world, many of us, myself included, have a personal connection to this conflict through family members who fought in this war. This story belongs to the entire world. This game truly recaptures that first Call of Duty value that no one fights alone. Call of Duty World War II also features a multiplayer game that brings back the intense, visceral, boots-on-the-ground gameplay our fans love, along with some great new innovations that push the game forward. And if you can't wait until November to play it, well, good news. You don't have to. I'm excited to announce right here, right now, that later this year, we'll be hosting a private multiplayer beta. This is just the beginning of a journey that we'll be taking with you all year. You're going to be hearing more from us more often with more information than ever as we reveal all the details we've got in store for you with Call of Duty World War II. And that starts right now. We've got a great lineup here today, ready to answer the questions.
I was hoping for a date. I was waiting for a date.
In a few minutes, I'll be bringing up Michael and Glenn from the studio, as well as a few members of our cast. As you'll see, the team at Sledgehammer has poured their heart and soul into this game. No battle was too big, no detail was too small. From the painstaking historical research, to visiting each and every one of the game's real-life locations, to sweating the audio and visual details that get the era just right. The goal was to create the most immersive World War II universe ever. We wanted our long-standing fans to experience World War II like never before.
Long-standing
and to
fans.
introduce this historic conflict to a whole new generation of players along the way. So let's get right to it. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process at the studio.
This is what I
and a
want to
deeper
see.
Look at what's coming in store with Call of Duty World War II.
The Second World War goes beyond all boundaries in every category. We see more nations involved in a single conflict. We see casualties higher than ever before. Just a generation before, at the end of the First World War, the Great War, they didn't call it World War I because they expected that nothing like this would ever happen again. And a generation later, something happens that's even bigger and even worse in so many ways.
We have the honor of making this year's Call of Duty called World War II.
Our chance to tell the epic, gritty, visceral story of the world's greatest conflict.
There is a genuine interest in producing a product that is historically authentic.
Every part of this game has been researched and nuanced and studied and scanned and photographed. We really tried to get the respect and the details right of the game.
This is about ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
The brotherhood, the camaraderie, the guy next to me. That became the theme for our game.
On a personal level, honoring the
That's
story was crucial for us, and it was something we really committed to.
Our story weaves in and out of real historical events. We've gone to great pains to create those authentic battles. One of the biggest things we wanted to get across was a sense of camaraderie.
The people you serve side by side with, you develop bonds with those people.
Hopefully players will walk away from this story feeling like they really know these guys.
Welcome to the bloody first.
And they care about them.
Art influences
That's what I like to hear.
in a huge way. The lighting and the tonality and the colors. We want to be able to have the player feel something.
By creating a very believable environment, it allows the player to slip into this world.
The vision for the art direction we call dark and beautiful. It was emotionally dark, visually beautiful. More than just being cool and pretty, it's about trying to get people to have a deeper emotional reaction to the game.
Our modeling department is amazing. The weapons, vehicles, the tanks, even the cars you might see on a city street. The level of detail is just phenomenal.
It's a huge endeavor, but we have to stay true to the source material. We have to research and watch a lot of film, a lot of archive footage to see how combatants in World War II would behave. Sometimes the hardest things are the biggest payoffs. The combination of the model, the animation, and the audio creates that punchiness to the weapon.
We record everything. Every location we recorded for the game, the ambiences, the music, the dialogue, everything has to be created from scratch. We had a real opportunity here to do a level of authenticity and reality, true to the war, true to the soldiers who fought in that war. We had this great opportunity with Marty Morgan, our military advisor. We spent a lot of time on a gun range with all of the authentic World War II weaponry.
It's critical to understand the absolute violence of the Second World War. It's critical to understand how weapons and firepower function.
You got it. If the sound is not right, then there's no point in releasing the game.
Have a lot of experience with this time period. I think this is a great opportunity to have them experience that and feel that.
We've made something pretty incredible, and I'm very proud of it.
It's perhaps the greatest compliment I've been paid in my career to work on this project.
This is the most powerful game I've ever worked on. It's very personal. It's very humbling.
You know, I've been making games for over 26 years. And I'll tell you, it's the best game we ever made.
And that is how you do a global reveal, because that's what it was, the global reveal of the new Call of Duty game, going back to World War II. I'm OJ Borgia at the BFI in London, the IMAX screen, the biggest screen in the United Kingdom, which seems a fitting place to have a game of such cinematic scope. Now, watching that trailer for the first time, like you, I was so hyped watching it, and I would be hyped if it was any.
I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again.
It's going back to its roots. I mean, I need to just calm down just slightly because I'm overhyped right now. But between the trailer and the video that we just saw, I am dying to know more about this game. And as I'm sure you are. That's why you've tuned into this live stream. So who do we talk to? Well, we talk to the people who made the game. That is Glenn and Michael from Sledgehammer Games. We're here right now. How excited are you guys right now?
Dude, after 2.5 years of sitting quiet, this is an incredible moment, so thanks.
It is just an exciting moment. Now, my heart's still racing. I hope the audience picks up on that.
Thank you.
It was a great trailer. My heart's still racing from it. It was gritty. We talked about the art direction in that documentary, which was dark and emotional. Do you know, it felt like what I would guess it would be like to be in World War II. Can you tell us a bit more, then, about the detail and the research that went into making this new Call of Duty?
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, getting
I'd like to hear more
World
of this.
War II right is incredibly important to us. Many of us have family members that have been touched by the war, and paying attention to every detail is our way of honoring them. We spent 2.5 years researching, studying, taking thousands of photos, watching documentaries, and meeting with World War II veterans. We visited museums, driven vehicles, fired weapons, and used photogrammetry techniques to capture even the tiniest details.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we've gone to great lengths to follow in the footsteps of the soldiers of World War II. You know, in addition to Normandy, we literally traveled the routes of the 1st Infantry Division and other Allied units, from the English Channel to the hedgerows of northern France.
How do these guys not get spotted if they're traveling all around the place? That's what I want to know.
Frankly, all the way to the Rhine. And it was great. We dug deep into the historical battle locations where many of the soldiers
especially like the big gaming news companies, like, oh, this person was spotted here.
Am I right in thinking you had a historian working on this? In fact, we saw him, didn't we? In that mini doc.
Yeah, we certainly did. Marty Morgan, amazing. He's renowned World War II historian and author. He's been a huge part of the team. He's worked with us for the last 2 years, and he's frankly devoted his life to capturing the stories of soldiers on the front line. And so with him as a cornerstone of our research, and a tremendous sort of asset to the team, he's really helped us capture the essence of war for fans.
Now, we only learned about this a couple of days ago. You'll have been sitting on this, I think.
I knew about a month from now.
Years. Since the reveal, how are you feeling right now? What have those days been like?
Oh, my goodness. It has been really amazing. Unbelievable, frankly. And, yeah, the reaction's been really positive and warming, and really to all the hardworking developers at Sledgehammer Games back home and to everybody at Activision, it's really been great. And for Glenn and I, it's really humbling to have, you know, the opportunity to tell this incredible story of heroism, to honor the men and women who've sacrificed to bring around victory, and what really is history's greatest conflict.
And you know, the team back in Foster City is watching the stream right now, and a shout out to all of you, and thanks for your hard work.
Because I'm guessing it has been 2.5 years of hard work. Yeah. Really hard work. Now, we've got tons to discuss, more questions that are coming in from you. You can get in touch with us on our social channels. And if they say that no man fights alone, no man presents alone either, because alongside me is a YouTuber. I call him the Crown Prince of Zombies. That is Mr. Dalek JD, who I know is super hyped right now.
That is correct, OJ, and I mean, that introduction was beautiful, and I'm just so happy to be here, and he's exactly right. Since Friday, we've been taking in your questions about the game via Twitter, and the response has just been phenomenal, and there is still time to get your questions in if you haven't already. All you'll need to do is make sure that you tweet at Call of Duty, making sure you use that hashtag COD World War II. Now, we already have some tweets to kick off the show. We have
this is where the Call of Duty fans come in now.
Excited. I can't believe it. COD is going back to its roots.
See, there you go. That's what a lot of tweets are saying, that Call of Duty going back to its roots. But this is all about gameplay as well. How does it, going back to its root, translate to gameplay?
Yeah, Call of Duty World War II returns to that grounded, fast action gameplay that the franchise was built on. And for us, the core Call of Duty experience, like the conflict of World War II, really puts an emphasis now on rewarding gun skill and strategy. And with an all-new boots-on-the-ground experience that immerses players in the intense combat of World War II like never before, we're bringing some great new innovations too, you know, things that were designed to elevate the player experience, things we want to touch about, but we're going to save for a little bit later in the show.
We are indeed saving it for a little bit later on. Make sure you stay tuned to this live stream. There's lots of things coming up. But Dalek, how do you feel about that?
I'm extremely excited by the fact that it's been nearly 10 years since Call of Duty has been in the World War II era, and I mean, that in itself
10 years, wow. That makes me feel old.
Over on Twitter, it seems I'm not the only one. Loads of fans are expressing their excitement around the fact of us being able to experience World War II era weaponry. Fans like Games412412 who tweets in saying, "What kind of weapons will we be seeing in
MP40, MP40.
Well, the team worked to bring a wide variety of weapons, you know, from both the Allied and Axis forces to life. And for us, authenticity was key. So from the iconic ping of the empty M1 Garand to the power of the first assault rifle, the STG-44, these guns have a real weight to them that is really visceral. And it really, for me, brings me back to my fondest memories of playing Call of Duty with the fidelity now and the brilliance of what's only possible in the latest generation of gaming hardware. No automatic weapons symbolize the brutality of World War II more than the belt-fed MG42, which you'll see. Terrifyingly powerful weapon.
Oh, I remember that
There's
gun.
the bolt-action rifles of World War II and the singular damage that they could inflict in combat, like the M1903. And equipped with scopes or iron sights, these weapons were frankly pretty precise. And of course, Glenn here with his .45 caliber grease gun, running around in spray and pray mode, you know.
I think that's a new gun.
That just scratches the surface, frankly.
The king of spray and pray.
Tell me about MP40. I want the MP40 back in this one. I've missed that gun. Thompson as well.
Yeah, good question. You know, I really love the detail we can bring to the game nowadays. The way the soldiers walked and talked, the music of the era, the different locations we researched as the big set pieces for iconic battles. In Normandy specifically, it's the emotions created by combining elements like the sound of the .50 caliber rounds hitting the front of the boat, the vehicles crashing into the shore, and taking cover behind the hedgehogs. In each case, we're targeting the most realistic gaming experience possible.
And that's what it's about, isn't it? That realistic experience, that visceral sound that goes on as well. Dalek, what else is the community wanting to know?
Well, Borg, we have a tweet in from It's Enigma for the Win, who wants to know what locations are we going to be fighting in?
Normandy?
The game takes place entirely in the European theater, primarily between 1944 and 1945. And as you saw in the reveal trailer, players will storm the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, fight through the Hurtgen Forest, engage in urban combat through France and Belgium, and ultimately push towards Germany.
Yeah, that's right. And we want to showcase how ordinary men and women came together to accomplish the extraordinary. And while the story follows the 1st Infantry Division, we also fold in a story of diverse and global cast of characters like Major Crowley from the SOE. Now he's a UK intel officer who earns recognition for his heroism earlier in the war. He helps plan the Normandy landings and then coordinates with the French resistance activities.
Yeah, and while fighting through the German lines in France, players will be introduced to other great characters such as Rousseau, the powerful female leader of the French resistance who forms a close bond with all our cast members, cast of characters, as the story progresses. Throughout much of the campaign, though, you're going to play as Private Red Daniels, a young recruit who is seeing some of his first real action in the invasion of Normandy. He's joined by his best friend, Zussman, a Jewish-American private. You'll follow our squad across the European theater, and we're excited to say that a part of the cast is here today to talk more about the incredible journey.
They are indeed. We'll bring up on stage in a second. Glenn, Michael, don't go anywhere because we will be talking to you later on with some more questions from the community. Keep them coming in. But please do give a warm welcome to Jonathan Tuck, who plays Red's best friend, Private Zussman. If we swap everyone out, let's swap everyone out here as we do this bit. And Jeffrey Pierce, who plays
there we are. Some
Lieutenant
info about the
Turner. Thank you very
characters.
much, guys. Thank you very much. And it's great to have the cast in as well, because one of the great things about Call of Duty has been that. It's been the great storytelling that goes on. And we've got the 3 Js here right now. Josh, I know you've had a huge amount of passion from this game since day one, being part of this project. What most excited you?
Well, when I first heard about it, I sat with Brett and with Glenn, and they wouldn't even tell me what the game was at first because it was so confidential. And then, you know, they just told, you know, it was really about what the history of this was about and how much detail they wanted to pay to it. And as I really got to, you know, learn more about it and actually start working on the game, not only did they pay attention historically, but the writing was so incredibly good. I mean, it rivals anything that I've ever read, you know, as far as movie scripts. So, you know, it's just something that I've always wanted to do, and it turned out to be as much fun as any job I've ever had.
And as Eric said earlier on, the story of World War II touches a lot of people emotionally, and that was something you brought into your performance, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, again, who knew? I thought it was just going to be a good time playing, you know, getting to work on a video game, and it turns out that these, you know, some of the scene work we got to do in this game was amazing, and these characters are so well rounded, and you know, they were right. They really did pay a lot of attention to, you know, being historically accurate and making sure these characters had a lot of depth.
And if we're talking about characters, tell me about your character, the guy you play.
Well, I don't know, boys. What was he? He's a bit of a dick. He's somebody who is obviously mission before man, and you know, it was something that was fun for me because I love playing the dick. I love playing the guy who everybody hates, and ultimately he has the dilemma about it. You know, is it mission before man, or is it really man before mission? Because he connects to these guys by the end of this story, and that's really what drew me to it.
Well, if we're talking about that connection, what was it like then, Jeffrey, when you're working together, that brotherhood feeling, when you're capturing your performances?
Well, we've been working together for 1.5 years at this point. Once a month, coming in, work 4 or 5 days. And I think we all bonded extraordinarily well. I mean, you don't mesh with people necessarily, but we walked into the room and felt like I'd known these guys for 10 years. And the work that we're being asked to do is of a scope of a massive feature film. And the storytelling, sort of where games are at now, what you can capture, the detail and performance. Story is as important as gameplay. And gameplay has always been seamless in Call of Duty, but this is like really getting to do work of a level that you would expect to do in a film.
And once you get past the, you know, the tight suit and the little reflector ping pong balls
you
and the
make
helmet
that work.
And the camera.
You really
and
make
once
that
you
work.
get past that, it feels like you're doing theater, I swear.
Yeah.
Because there's no, there's no coverage, there's no
Yeah,
close-up, so
yeah.
Everybody is active the entire time in the motion capture or the PCAP sessions that we're doing, and it's an extraordinarily active, dynamic process where everybody is working the entire time. It's an exciting process to be a part of as an actor. The performances are so much more visceral, and so much more of an exciting process to be a part of.
And you're relying on everybody else to help you get where you need to get. It's a great experience.
Well, because that's something you said to me earlier. I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but we met in the gym this morning. We bumped into each other. We were doing our mirror work, bumped and tons. And you said it was like being on stage, and it lent a whole new dimension to your performances. Because I think when you're doing TV or film, you can be off, can't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, Josh and I, this is our first video game. Jeff's done quite a few. We're used to just sitting back on our Apple boxes in between takes, letting other people get their shots. But for the first time, we really had to work.
The way
the entire scene.
I mean, up to this point, it was just, we just do our close-up and then let somebody else do the other side.
Exactly right.
Head off to the trailer.
Yeah, off to my trailer. Call me.
No, but I mean,
that's not it. I swear to God, that's not it.
18 months with these guys. I've gotten to see both their kids grow up. They've gotten to see my dog get bigger. We've seen other cast members, lose girlfriends, get girlfriends. So that camaraderie was very reflective of this group of regular people who are diverse in religion, in age, in geography, in color, and getting to see that group of people in World War II is, I think, a wholly unique part of this game that I think people will appreciate when they're playing.
When you scratch the surface, you find out that these guys, they're not fighting for bigger ideas than the love of the brothers around them and risking their lives, sacrificing themselves for each other. It's not about flag or country when the rubber meets the road. It's about caring for each other, and that serves the bigger whole. But the connection between the men and the women on the front lines is as powerful a bond as you could see anywhere.
Yeah, and one thing that I think is also really cool about this is that not only is it a kick-ass game, but because they spent so much time making this historically accurate, it's going to expose the whole World War II story to a whole new generation. And that's really, I'm really honored to be a part of this game for that reason. And the fact that I get just...
Well, it's been 10 years, so the Call of Duty community has shifted massively.
It is a visceral sort of thing, and I think that, anybody who isn't familiar with World War II is going to get a real feel for what it might have been like.
Because lots of people are writing articles about that at the moment, saying that this is how we get our history now. It's through this, and there's almost more empathy when you're fighting through an interactive character.
Well, there's 20 years since Saving Private Ryan. It's 10 years since Call of Duty had a World War II game. This is a whole new generation, and to speak to the pride that we've all felt making this game, it has been a true privilege to even watching this behind the scenes, to be able to share with the world the small role that we've gotten to play in bringing this game to fans and a whole new generation to understand World War II.
Yeah. Josh, you mentioned connections. Am I right in thinking that somebody who sat around on this stage right now got a punch in on you at some point during the film?
Well, he did. Like we were saying, it's usually one take. You get one take right and you move on to the next scene. Well, he kept screwing it up and taking another. Can I get one more?
We had to get it right.
I just need one more.
Very important to get it right.
Starting to wonder
authenticity. We're back to visceral authenticity, and he can't, hit somebody who's 6'4" every day without repercussions. So I took my licks where I could.
Appreciate your dedication to the craft.
I just don't like that take. Let's do it one more time. Come on, Iron Bar. We're actually watching on the screen right now. We're watching your characters. What is it like watching yourself back? Having gone there, we saw the punch. And what is it like watching yourself back in a game at this point? Because obviously you've done TV, you've done films, but watching yourself in the game.
Well, it takes a while to adjust to this tight, suit that you're wearing. It's all colorful with these balls and the whole thing.
Who looked the best? Who looked the best in the suit?
Jonathan, for sure. He's been doing a lot of squats.
Heavy deadlifting. Heavy deadlifting makes the suit look nice.
Once you get past that, and once you start to see some of the results and some of the stuff that the guys are working on in Foster City and all over the world, I think. I'm not sure where everybody's at, but again, thank you guys for all the work. But once you start to see what you're actually going to look like, it frees you up to really go for it, because you're not just in some silly suit. This is World War II, and this is some serious stuff.
Yeah.
And so it gives you a whole new freedom that you wouldn't otherwise have.
You can imagine your breath when we're doing some of these winter scenes. You can squint at a fake sun and the volume, and those guys who have created this game build that in for you. So that freedom he's talking about, it's so exciting to explore.
And I think it sets it up for what Call of Duty is, which is great storytelling. But please put hands together for our cast who've come down here today. The 3 Js. Thank you so much. And all we're talking about there is the campaign. That's just all we're talking about there. Now, Dolek, I would guess you're still excited right now.
I mean, I think I'm just in a state of excitement. I can't really get out of it. That was awesome and very insightful to hear from the cast. Now, don't worry, we still have a lot of reactions and general tweets from the community to deliver to Glenn and Michael. We've got just a handful right here. We have Rob Stang, who says, I hope Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield give us at least a little tease of multiplayer during the reveal. Smiley face. And at Woodworth Noah, and this is in all caps, by the way, this is going to be amazing. Loads of exclamation marks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as I look through all the tweets, there is an enormous amount of questions revolving around multiplayer. Guys, what can you tell us about multiplayer today?
So there you go, the community.
They're not going to say much. They're probably going to say it for another time.
Michael, what can you tell us about multiplayer?
Oh my goodness, we have so much to share. Now, we can't show you a lot today, a lot of big stuff coming at E3, but
yeah, E3 will be all of it.
We're talking boots on the ground combat. And, you know, that well-balanced Call of Duty run-and-gun action in a brutal and visceral head-to-head conflict of World War II. So from maps to movement to weapons to melee, you know, our goal was to give players an all-new boots-on-the-ground experience for World War II. And then a bunch of new stuff, right? We've got War, an asymmetrical Allied versus Axis mode where factions fight to capture or defend critical objectives. Now, this mode changes map design, strategy, teamwork, and we're really excited about its potential. We're also excited about Divisions. Divisions is a fundamentally new way to approach your Call of Duty multiplayer career, and it adds to the player immersion by allowing players to enlist in a specific unit of their choice.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Finally, we have Headquarters. This is something special, everybody, at Sledgehammer Games, and it's the first of a kind for the Call of Duty community. It's really a living space where fans can connect, be rewarded, compete, show off, and have fun outside of matches. It's a transformation of how the community comes together, and we really want you to see it to understand it. So just a tiny peek here. Let's take a look.
That was a tiny peek.
That was a little tinier than I expected, OJ.
So when we see more? When we can see more of this?
Well, you know, it's coming to E3. MP on the floor. For us, that's the first time Sledgehammer Games has been able to bring it to fans.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are coming to the conference, so it's going to be big. We're going to bring all that to you at E3.
Oh,
it's going to be
I want more.
Hey guys. I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, multiplayer sounds sensational, but after reading other people's questions, I want to ask one of my own. Now, I know that there may or may not be some sort of co-op mode within World War II. Now, I am quite a big Zombies fan, and there is a lot of people watching around the world that are also in the same boat as me. So we're all asking right here, right now, what can you tell us about this co-op mode?
Absolutely nothing. No. Sorry. Yeah, you know, our third mode is it's an entirely new story, and it's a pretty horrifying experience, sort of like your office. You know. For Michael and I, it's our first horror game in years, and we're really, really psyched about it. It's the story of the Third Reich's desperate attempt to create an army in the final stages of the war. We can't wait to share more. In fact, should we show a little something? Just a little tiny little peek.
Another one.
Whoa! It's darling before makeup.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Guys, I mean, this says very little, and normally I would be a little disappointed, but how can I be when, I mean, that just looks incredible. I would ask for more, but I'm probably going to get a no, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
At least I tried.
That is a Nazi zombie on the biggest cinema screen in the United Kingdom. And I think that is a fabulous way to end this first look at the Call of Duty World War II than that. It has been an absolute ton of fun, and it's been great having you guys here as well.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. You know, our hearts are full being able to share with fans, and we hope fans are just as excited about Call of Duty World War II
I'm hyped.
as we are to make it. Without a doubt, it really is the most personal and powerful game I've ever worked on, and I know we can speak for all the developers at Sledgehammer Games when I say that we're holding nothing back for November.
Yeah, and you know, our thanks again for the support. This game is for you. And I'm sure Michael would agree, we've talked about this before, that this is the best game we've ever made.
The best game.
The best
game.
Yes.
There you go. So thank you very much to Glenn and to Michael from Sledgehammer Games. It is going to be such a wait till November the 3rd, it really is. So stick it in your iCal, tattoo it to the inside of your eyelids. November the 3rd, that is when this new Call of Duty, going back to its root, is coming out. World War II with this game. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep in touch via the social channels. How should we leave it? The way we came in. Let's have another look at that trailer.
Yeah, let's do it.
This day is set upon a mighty endeavor. Souls will be shaken with the violences of war. in this hour of great sacrifice. We shall prevail.
Get your head down and keep moving!
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot, we must not fail.
Duty first.
Perez! Bumpy enough for you?
Jeez. So good.
How many casualties? We executed the mission. Get me the fuck out of here. How many? We had orders! Get to cover!
That bit there, man.
Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about. No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great.
Welcome to the Bloody First. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
Pre-order, mate. November 3rd.
Pre-order now and get access to the private beta.
Oh, mate, that was so good. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that. I freaking loved every moment of that. Mainly, it was a large percentage of the campaign. Obviously, you've got to expect about more about the multiplayer is going to be coming at E3. Was to be expected, especially that multiplayer bit as well, where the HQ, where on top of the hill was loads of players running around, and it's like, that's it. And obviously, zombies have basically been confirmed for this game. That picture as well, that picture looks really incredible. Some artwork. So I look forward to it so much. So I cannot wait to reveal more. But if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn channel notifications on, and I obviously will confirm now where will be Call of Duty gameplay coming to the channel this year. Obviously, I've done Call of Duty gameplays in the past, but I will be playing some the World War II campaign for you. I'll be playing some zombies. I'll be playing a bunch of other stuff. And when there's new news as well, I will be bringing it to you as quick as I can. So make sure you turn on channel notifications on to be notified when there's brand new Call of Duty news. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and I will see you later on. Bye-bye.